Number 9, the Lowry says, in many modern weddings, people promise before God, till death do us part, or something similar. Doesn't that biblically preclude the option of even a biblical divorce? That's interesting. Marriage is, I agree with the phrase till death do us part, because marriage is in itself a lifelong commitment. It really just is a lifelong commitment. Even if you don't have that phrase, till death do us part, that's what it ideally is supposed to be. You get married and it is until death, till you part. But does the idea of till death do us part, does that mean the marriage cannot be broken? And in my really long video, although long is subjective based on the recent videos I've made, but in my 3-hour video on divorce and remarriage, I deal with this issue of, and there's timestamps there, you guys can check it out, and this is the heart of the question, I think, is divorce, or is marriage, excuse me, ontologically unbreakable? And what I mean by ontologically, I hate to use that term, but I just mean as its very nature, like as part of what it is to be married, does that mean that it can't be broken? So that if you get a divorce, you're not really divorced, you're actually still married. So till death do us part would mean even after a divorce, unless one of you dies, you're still married. So if I divorced my wife and married some other woman, 15, 20 years later, we got 3 kids, and someone's like, Mike, you're actually still married to your first wife, and every day has been adultery. Every day, even now, even tonight when you go home, that's still continued adultery. I don't believe that that's the case, and I offer several reasons for that in my video on divorce and remarriage. I'll link it down below for anybody after the stream. I'll link it down below. Maybe Ahmad can put the video on divorce and remarriage, the long 3-hour one, in the live chat as well. Oh, look, Hope has already done it. Thank you, Hope. So you guys can check that out. Click to that, because I give you like a systematic analysis of it, and I talk about it in detail. Because of that, I would understand, yes, it was a lifelong commitment, but you broke it and dissolved it, and through adultery and then divorce, or even just divorce, so that there's this new category where I can say, hey, you're actually divorced, even though sometimes there's a moral, this is important to understand it, there's a moral requirement to get back together with that spouse. You're morally obligated to restore the relationship, but that doesn't mean the relationship stays ontologically throughout time, no matter what you do. Hope that makes sense. That would be my understanding of it. Yeah, it was intended. It was a deal that was intended. So that doesn't mean that it can't happen. When Jesus says, if anyone divorces his wife and marries another, he doesn't say tries to divorce his wife. He uses the terminology that seems to represent divorce. When he talks to the woman at the well, she's had 5 husbands. Well, that next one wouldn't have even been a husband if she was still married to the first. Right? So there isn't this idea of the ontological unbreakability of marriage, although it shouldn't be broken. He doesn't say what God has brought together, man cannot separate. He says, let not man separate. Right? Like it's wrong. Doesn't mean it can't be done.